Analysts across the globe believe Islamic State has about $2 billion in funds. That's more than some sovereign nations in the Asia-Pacific and much more than other terrorist groups. For example, at the time of the September 11 attacks, Al-Qaeda's operating budget was estimated to be $30 million annually. So where has all of Islamic State's money come from? Well, Iraq's former Prime Minister says rival states are to blame. Months ago, Nouri al-Maliki accused Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Qatar of funding IS. All three nations have flatly denied it, but there may be some truth to Mr al-Maliki's accusation. While there's no proof of state sponsorship, plenty of money from these nations has ended up in Islamic State hands. When Syria's civil war broke out and Islamic State was just one of several groups fighting against Bashar al-Assad, many people were sending cash to help the rebels. Analysts believe hundreds of millions of dollars from Kuwait went to rebel groups alone. Some of it was intended to be humanitarian aid, but some of it went to guns and fighting, and eventually to what became IS. Once Islamic State began winning the ground war in Syria, it found another source of income. People who have escaped from IS-controlled towns tell how militants rob people of everything they have, including cash. And when IS went on the rampage in Iraq and took Mosul, it raided the Mosul bank. The provincial governor has been on the record saying $425 million was taken along with gold bullion from that ransacking of that bank. But IS doesn't just steal. Refugees claim that when IS militants take over an area, people and businesses are forced to pay taxes. In exchange, people get water, electricity and security. But a better word for all of that is extortion, because failure to pay a tax usually results in kidnappings and murder. So in essence, IS taxes are more like mafia-style protection money or extortion. And it's estimated Islamic State generates $8 million a month this way. Along with key infrastructure, Islamic State has taken over several oil fields in Syria and Iraq and is selling crude on the black market. Analysts estimate IS smuggles between 9,000 to 30,000 barrels of crude oil a day onto the black market, generating around $2 million daily for the brutal militia. Its other key source of income from the start has been kidnappings and ransoms. It's unclear how many people have been taken and then sold back, but British Prime Minister David Cameron recently said tens of millions of dollars in ransom payments have gone to IS from Europe. He called on Europeans to follow the US lead and refuse to pay ransoms. Before James Foley was killed, Islamic State reportedly asked for 75 million euros for his return. That's money IS would have used to tighten its grip on power, which is why the US refuses to pay ransoms for American hostages.